With Behavior Education at Spirit Keeper Animal Sanctuary. Today is Monday, December 9th, 2024, and I was scheduled to be at Critter Care Animal Hospital this afternoon with our leopard gecko and our collie Sadie and two of our snakes for wellness exams. However, I woke up to a snowstorm today. The roads are bad. We have heavy snow. Interstate I-25 was closed a little while ago between Colorado Springs and Denver, so it was going to be very difficult and unsafe for me to get up to the veterinarian today. So we are trying to get that rescheduled, and instead I'm going to do an unboxing video. But I'm not unboxing live animals. This delivery came last week from Exotic Enrichment, and you can find them on Etsy. It's Exotic Enrichment on Etsy. And there's a discount code that you can use that's Lori5, L-O-R-I, and the number 5 to get a discount on your orders from Exotic Enrichment. These, I believe, are python playgrounds that I ordered. Now, I've done a previous video showing python playgrounds in my Morelia Bredli enclosures for some of my juvenile Morelia Bredli. And I did a video featuring the Exotic Enrichment Burrow Buddy, which is in with my Korean rat snake. So, as I suspected, these are the python playgrounds that I ordered. This one is pink, so I am probably going to put this in, I don't know. I have several that are just over a year old. They were hatched on August 7th, 2023. I have 6 from the same clutch that I got from Andy Watson in Denver. And I have one named Nova, one named Nalase, one named Emery that are all females. And then I have Balin, and I don't know if Balin is a male or female. And I have Mobius and Cassian, who are males. So some of them already have python playgrounds, but some of them don't. And so I am going to be adding these python playgrounds to the ones that don't have them yet. And there are 2 ways that well, there's more than 2 ways. But there are a couple of things that I like to do with these python playgrounds. One is you can just set them onto the ground or on top of a flat surface like a shelf or a hide, just like this. And that works great. But what I've also done with them is I have attached them to the enclosure ceiling. So you've got one on the bottom, one attached to the ceiling, and the snakes can use this one for climbing up high and hanging down from the ceiling, and then they can use this one as something to climb on at a lower level, or if you've set it on top of a flat surface, a medium or middle level. These are 3D printed. They're very durable. They're easy to clean. I've even put a water dish in the middle. So I've put a water dish down and then set this on top of it so they can climb on it, and then their water is in the center of it. I feel like there's a lot of versatility with these. If they look familiar, they should, because they're fashioned after the Holy Roller balls made by JW Pets. And I also really like those for snakes. Most of my snakes have a Holy Roller ball. And then this is the same thing in a different color. So these come in various colors. I actually have one that is sort of rainbow colored. It's multicolored. I think they come in darker brown. They come in black. So this is the python playground. They also come in different sizes. Go to Exotic Enrichment on Etsy and check it out. I am going to take these out to my Brettles pythons and get these put in their enclosures. I think they're fantastic. They're durable. They're easy to clean. They're versatile. So I can set one on the bottom. I can set one on an elevated surface mid-level, and I can hang one from the ceiling. And I think it's super fun for semi-arboreal snakes or arboreal snakes, basically snakes that like to climb. Even terrestrial snakes do not stay on the same plane, the same level the whole time. So if you set one of these on the ground, I guarantee even your terrestrial snakes are going to crawl through this. Okay, we're out here giving my inland carpet python Serana one of the python playgrounds. Now, she hasn't been here that long. She is an inland carpet python, Morelia spilota mccaffei, and she was hatched on June 13th, 2024. So just a few months, 6 months ago. She's 6 months old. And I just got her in September. So she is still in the tent that she was being quarantined in. And she's doing fantastic in this butterfly tent. She actually just gave me last night a perfect shed. So I just cleaned her tent out. She's got a halogen heat lamp above it, because you obviously don't want a heat source directly on mesh. And then she's got a live plant inside. She's got some different enrichment items. She has a tub perch that's made by, well, it used to be Specialty Enclosure Designs, but now I think it's called the Perch Company. And it holds the water dish. So I'm adding now, where are you going, Serana? Where are you going? I'm adding this python playground to her setup here. And as you can see, there's plenty of space that I could actually add more items inside the python playground right here. So if I wanted to put a bigger or a second water dish here, if I actually wanted to put the plant inside and underneath the python playground, I could do that. I just love these because the snake can climb all over them, but I can also put stuff inside. And as I said before, they're easy to clean, they're durable, they're very, very safe for the snake. No sharp edges, nothing the snake can get hurt on. I think they're fantastic. Okay, so I didn't like how empty it looked inside the middle of the python playground. So I moved it over the plant. So I left the python playground here. I put the plant inside. The plant itself is not doing too well. I'm not sure why. I have other pothos plants that are doing just fine. I'm not sure why this one isn't. I added a rock to her habitat, and then I left everything else the same. So she also has a fake plant. She has this hide. She has her water dish on her tub perch. She has a paper towel roll, and then she has just an empty paper bag back there that she likes to climb in and on. So this is her habitat. She has an LED light on top, and then she has her halogen for heat. So let's go see who else we can give one of these to. I'm giving my inland carpet python Wrecker this beige python playground. He's actually in his paper towel tube right now. So I am in the process of creating a stimulating environment for him. He has a live plant, and I have put his paper towel roll through his python playground, and I'm just gonna fix up his enclosure a little bit, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's all finished. Up high, he has a sky hide, and he has a stirrup off of one of my saddles in here, an old stirrup that I'm not using anymore, and part of a horse rein that I've cut off and put in here for him to climb on. So he has other stuff that belongs in here. I'll put it in, and then I'll let you see what it looks like. Okay, so here's what I ultimately came up with for his enclosure today. It could change, and he doesn't mind when I change around his enclosure. So he's still in his paper towel tube. His water's up here. He's got a live plant back there. He has a climbing branch. He's got a sky hide. He has a stirrup that he likes to climb on and perch on. He's got a plastic hide here, and he has a shelf. So we'll see what he does with all this tonight. And Wrecker has been here a little bit longer than Serana has. Wrecker is a little bit older. He hatched in 2023, so he's about a year and a half old, and he got here in May of this year. And then Serana just hatched in June of this year and got here in September, so they are about a year apart. All right, so I put the third python playground in Nova's enclosure. Nova is one of my Morelia Bredli, part of that same clutch that I got 6 from. So she was hatched on August 7th, 2023. She came from Andy Watson in Denver. And she's very small. She's currently in shed. I just checked on her. And she's inside this tub, underneath that purple thing, underneath that gray thing, in a little round hide that I have underneath that gray hide. And she is just as gray as can be, and her eyes are completely blue-gray. So I barely disturbed her, and I just put fresh substrate in and gave her new water and added this python playground up there in her basking area. So this is a basking slate, and I just set it here on top of her tub so she can actually climb up through the python playground to get to her basking area and get to the top of the tub. And of course, when she gets a bigger enclosure down the road, I can either, set this on the ground or on a mid-level shelf, or I can hang it from the ceiling. I'll show you what that looks like in another enclosure. But Nova has a sky hide, and she's got this tub that is her transport tub that I just leave in here, which also has a perch in it and some hides inside it. She's got a rock out here. She's got this climbing thing that my dad brought me from, actually he brought it to my mom from Vietnam when he was there. And then she gave it to me. And Nova likes to climb and perch on this. And then she's got her water over there, and she does have a regular hide on the ground that I've never seen her use, but it's there if she wants it. So that is what she is currently in as a 1-year-old brettle. She's still very tiny. It's 36 inches by 18 by 18. These are some of her clutch mates that I've made a complete video about. They're already in 4x2x2 enclosures, not because they're any larger than her, just because I haven't set hers up yet. So theirs were set up, so they went immediately into 4x2x2 enclosures, and she didn't have one set up that's this size yet. I have them all in boxes, and I still need to put them together. This is Mobius. So you can see that I have his python playground on the ground next to his holy roller ball, which he is currently using. Even though it's the middle of the afternoon, I was in here working. So Brettles are very curious and very nosy and opportunistic. I'm sure he's wondering if I'm going to feed him. So he had to come out and see what I was doing, because maybe, just maybe, I'm going to feed him. So down here is his brother or sister. This is the one I'm not sure of the sex on. This is Balin. And he's got a holy roller ball down there. He's currently up in his sky hide. I just saw him peeking his head out a minute ago. He generally stays in there during the day. And then his holy roller is down here. His python playground, I have attached up here to the ceiling, so he can use it as an additional climbing structure or climbing apparatus. And then down here is Nala Say. She's again already in a 4x2x2 enclosure. Her favorite spot where I typically find her is on this net. Day or night, she is usually on that net, which is really close to her sky hide. Interesting fact, at the time I was putting her enclosure together, I ran out of the black Reptile Basics plastic hides, like that one that's down there in the corner on the ground, that is meant to fit in these sky hide holders. But it turns out a 6-quart shoebox also slides into the sky hide holders. So I just cut a hole in that, and that's her sky hide. And then down here is her python playground, and I have it sitting on top of a black box cages hide, and I have her paper towel roll going through the python playground. So they're very versatile. There's her holy roller ball. There is her wondering what's up. We're not eating right now. Just go back to what you were doing. So these 3 clutch mates are already in 4x2x2 enclosures. And we will see as they get older if they end up needing 6-foot or 8-foot enclosures. Brettles are kind of variable in size. I have some actually still in 4-foot enclosures that didn't grow very large, but I'll swing around here and show you one that is in an 8-foot enclosure because this one grew very, very large. So this is Kazuda, and he is in an 8-foot enclosure, and he is 6 years old. When he is fully stretched out, he's about 7.5 feet long. So there is some size variability within Brettles pythons. This one, in these 2 enclosures that are attached to one another, Salazar, he is also in, he's gonna shed any day. He was all gray and blue yesterday, so now I see he's clearing up, which means he's gonna shed. But I have his enclosure attached to another one, so his enclosure is 7 feet long, and he's about 7 feet long. He gets to come out and roam in this room quite a bit. So there's size variability with Brettles, is what I'm saying. These juvenile ones will be in these 4x2x2 enclosures until I get a good grasp of how large I think they're going to be as adults, and then I'll decide what they should go in next. But typically, Brettles end up in 6 or 8 foot enclosures. They would be happy with more. I don't think that you could give them an enclosure that's too big. In fact, Salazar, the one that I just showed you that's in blue, he spends a lot of time just loose in this room. And I shut the door, and he has climbing things up there, and he has spent up to 3 weeks just loose in this room. So they are not going to complain about an enclosure that is too big. They may not like one that is too small. Like this is Emery. She's part of that same clutch that was hatched on August 7th. 2023, and she would like me any day to put her into her 4x2x2 enclosure because she's active. She comes out of this little terrarium that I put her in when I originally got her. She loves her Holy Roller Ball, and I'm sure she thinks on a daily basis, why are my siblings already in those other enclosures and I'm still in this one? It's because Mom hasn't had time to put yours together yet. Sorry. These are 2 of the enclosures that I bought in a bulk shipment from Dubia. And these are 4x2x4. And Tracy Judd, and she runs the new Ball Python Keepers group and recently published a book for new Ball Python Keepers, which is excellent. I highly recommend it. She put these together. She came out here to Colorado and paid a visit, and she put both of these together. This is a 6-year-old Morelia Bredli named Oz, who was produced by Ralph Polinsky, temporarily owned by Casey Cannon, and then owned by Summer Grace Melville, and then now he is here to live with me. And once they come here, they don't leave. He has a permanent home here now. And he is a hypomelanistic Morelia Bredli. And then in this other 4x2x4 enclosure is my Macklot's Python, Shran, and I'm not sure where he is right now. Sometimes he's in that sky hide. Sometimes he's creeping around hiding in this tree. And sometimes he's on the ground buried. I never know where I'm going to find him. The other enclosures that I need to put together, this is a storage area outside of that reptile space we were just in, are right here in boxes. So I have 4x2x2s, 6 of them that need to be put together. And I believe I have another 4x2x4 that also needs to be put together. So I think there's 7 enclosures boxed up that still need to be put together. So Tracy needs to come visit me again so we can get this squared away. And so that Nova and Emery can be in enclosures just like their siblings. Oh, and Cassian. Cassian is waiting on his too. So one of these is for Emery, one is for Cassian, and one is for Nova. And in case you were wondering, here's Cassian. I couldn't find him, and I lifted up the plant that was in this purple thing, and there he was underneath the plant. Okay, everybody, that is going to be it because I took twice as much video footage as you just saw, and it was getting way too long. So I may include that in another video because the intent of this video was to discuss with you the Python playground, which I just love. My Brettles pythons love them. I'm sure other snake species would love them. We're going to see if my inland carpet pythons love them. So until next time, everybody, please remember to always be kind and love your animals. And don't forget to visit Exotic Enrichment on Etsy and use the discount code Lori5. Thanks, everybody.